Welcome to the Speak Her Podcast with your host, Camille Essick, the podcast where innovators and creators connect. Let's get started.
The Creative Connect is a 24-hour virtual assistant. Go to CamilleEssick.com and be sure to shop the collection with stock elements and so much more. Be sure to hit that notification bell and subscribe. Now back to the Speaker Podcast.
Hey everyone, welcome back and thank you for tuning in. This is Camille Essick. I'm host of the Speaker Podcast. This is the podcast where innovators and creators connect. What I need you to do right now is hit that notification bell and subscribe. I'm across streaming platforms such as iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Pandora. I'm also on Facebook and YouTube, and I would love to hear from you. You can also send me an email at thespeakerpodcast@gmail.com. And without further ado, we have a special guest. She's our first time into the show, so y'all be nice, say hey, tag a friend or three. Welcome Jerrica Russaw to the show. Hey, girl, hey.
Hey, girl, hi.
Thanks for coming and just thank you for tapping in. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm nervous, girl. I'm nervous. You know, being on the other end of things, being on the other side of things is like nerve-wracking. I'm like, what do I do with my hands? What do I do?
Girl, it's going to be a good time. We're going to go ahead and hop right in. First of all, those with my audience that may not be familiar with you, let the listeners and viewers know who you are and what you do.
Sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Jerrica Russaw. I am, first, I'm a child of God. I am a woman of God. Second, I am a creative. I am a graphic designer with over 10 years of experience. I have a few different businesses. I have Jerrica Designed It, which is strictly graphic design. I have Urban Visionaries, which is everything multimedia. And then I have my own podcast as well, under the name The Creative Stable, where we have conversations with creatives. And then I have launching tomorrow, I'm really excited, The Creative's Couch with actually my therapist. So I'm a multifaceted woman. I do everything. I can pray you into a fancy and I can design you something that's going to bring you some money. We thank God for being a multifaceted money, lady. We thank God for that.
Yes, as Pastor said, we do both and.
Okay, we do all of it, and then some. That's right.
Absolutely. So we're gonna hop right into the conversation. So one of the things I want to ask you
Sure.
as far as how, because one of the things we do here at the Speaker Podcast, you know, this is the Speaker Podcast, the podcast where innovators and creators connect, and here we do discuss topics and issues impacting the community and the culture. So for you, how has collaboration shaped your evolution as a creator, and what has it taught you just about trust and humility?
Wow. First of all, I think that's a wonderful conversation and topic because collaboration is just so important. So when I started my podcast, The Creative's Table, it wasn't supposed to be a podcast at first. It was just supposed to be a group of friends getting on live and just talk about some stuff that we dealt with. And it turned into something bigger. And it started through collaboration. A lot of my episodes have about 5 to 6 other designers, other collaborators that join me on the show. And I think it's so important because we are not meant to do life alone. Right. You know, that I don't mean to be super deep, but you know, this is just who I am, is who God has made me. But you know, in the beginning, God looked at Adam and said, it's not good for man to be alone. I think that's such a pivotal thing because sometimes we go through life, we go through our businesses and our jobs, whatever else we do, and we feel like we have to do it by ourselves. I mean, literally, there are so many other people on this planet that can really help get you to where you want to be faster if you just collaborated with them to get there. So I think collaboration has been a major part of my career. And I really attribute to where I am today based on collaboration. So it's really big for me.
That's awesome. And what I love about I'm a new kid on the block. I'm learning and I love collaboration just because that's a place where we get information. So what do you think creatives miss?
Yeah.
What they miss out on when they're out there trying to do it alone and be solo?
I think the camaraderie that collaboration brings, one to say, I understand, or me too, not in the sense of we know the Me Too movement and stuff like that, necessarily with that, but just saying me too, like, I understand what you're going through. Sometimes it's not always the connection. It's not always the elevation. It's not always you helping me put this idea together. Sometimes it's in my frustrating moments when I want to quit all of it. Somebody saying, I understand what you're going through. I was there too, and this is how I got through it. I think that even that fundamental element of collaboration is something that I found to be really beautiful, and what has helped me to keep going on those days when I want to give up. So I hope I answered your question.
You did. That's really good. And just people don't understand the ebbs and flows of being a creative because especially this
Oh
day,
God.
coming out of a different vein and it's like a pour out and we have these bursts and then you
Yeah,
kind of go down because you have to recharge because people don't
for
understand.
sure.
It's not like you have to have an inspirational moment and sometimes
Yeah,
you're pouring out and then it's like oof and you have to kind of check out recharge. I know that sometimes I will
yeah,
skip posts that way I'm not online to kind of step back and also you have
yeah.
to kind of be careful just like I hear musicians like Missy Elliott, she'll say she doesn't listen to other artists because she wants her sound to be her own, and that's the same way I feel about designing.
Mhm.
Like there are things like oh that's awesome, but I try to focus more on my skill set. That way, my blueprint
Yeah,
is something the way I create. So if you see something, you can go, "Oh, Camille did that," and just I wanted to have that
yeah,
vibe, you know. So in that space,
yeah.
how has community kind of saved you, either personally or professionally, in those spaces of those moments of frustration?
Oh God, community has saved me so much. I can think about a time when I was in design and I wasn't I still don't think like I'm that like I don't consider myself as like one of those designers, right? I feel like I do my thing. I do okay, but I don't
Yeah,
consider myself I don't know, like you know what I'm saying?
I
And I
do.
was
Oh my God,
really
that's the bomb, and you feel like it was all right.
right, I just be like, okay. So like I there was a time in my design career where I was really down on myself because I was seeing what all of the big names were doing, seeing what all these amazing people were doing. I was like, I can't do that. Like I don't know how to do that. And I was just like, well, maybe I don't belong. But I think that it was the community that I had of people who were doing it or people who were grinding just like me, my peers who were saying, girl, it's people at your level that would appreciate what you do. You don't have to compare yourself to other people. Now, don't get me wrong, comparison, and I think that we misinterpret what comparison really is. Comparison is in business is necessary. Okay, comparison is not always a bad thing. You should compare yourself to other businesses, to other people in your industry because that's how you get better, right? It's when you take that comparison and then flip it on yourself to say, I am not worthy because I'm not doing it like such and such. Instead of saying, what are elements that such and such is, what are some elements that they are doing that I can apply to what I'm doing to make it better? You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it was my community that said, Jerrica, you have to be confident in what you do. You can't be so focused in what somebody else is doing, how somebody else is doing it, that you lose sight of who you are. Can look at other people and say, I like the way they do this, and apply that to what you already do to make what you do better. But you should never change the foundation of who you are, how you see, and how you create based on what you see. And I think that's what Missy Elliott was saying. I think it's unwise to go around and not listen to any music ever again just because you're a musician. But I think it's important to say I have to listen to it in moderation because I don't want to regurgitate just what I see. I want to remain myself, but maybe I want to grow with the times and say, okay, well, what is the industry doing now, and how can I apply that to what I'm already doing?
Absolutely, and I think that was the foundation of her making that statement. I don't think it was her just saying I don't listen to music at all. I think it was just
Yeah,
she's being creative. She checks out and taps into her inner self because she wants her sound to be her own.
yeah,
Can you like take us back
yeah.
to a moment when you realized like your voice mattered, and then what was that
Sure.
lit that first creative spark for you?
Oh man, you said when I realized my voice mattered. Wow, what was that spark? Honestly, um it was no outside influence that got me to that place. I think for me, it was an internal realization that my voice mattered. I think sometimes as creatives and as creative individuals, we give other people too much power over our validation and our value as a person. I think it's so important that we have these internal conversations and realizations that we are creators because God made us that, and that's enough. If I never go viral, if the people never comment, if they never like, if they never share, if I never get that client, if I never make $1 million for it, what I am happy about is that when I hit send that client that thing, or I made such and such thing, I felt good about it. And that's all that matters. Because you know the old saying, if you live by the applause, you would die by the silence. And
Yes.
so for me, it was an internal realization when I said, you know what, Jerrica, you are that girl. Forget these other people. It don't matter if they agree with you or not. When you look in the mirror, you see that girl. So be that. Live that. And if they like it, good. If they don't, fine too. I'm gonna be who I'm gonna be regardless.
Yes, it's so important that we are our number one cheerleader, no matter what.
Yeah.
And so important is
Yeah.
building up that internal voice and that confidence. I love it, absolutely. So, y'all,
True.
if you're not haven't done so, I see a couple people tapping
Let
in.
me go
D.
share.
Arnold and CJ Brooks is tapping in. Y'all tag some people. We're having a really good
Mhm.
conversation with Jerrica.
Come on in.
Amazing creative, and just sitting down getting to know her. She's a first timer here at the Speaker Podcast. So, Jerica, was there a person or experience that made you just really believe this was possible? Like, what was the turning point for you as a creative? What was your turning point
Um,
when you realized, like,
oddly
yeah,
enough,
do this?
oddly enough, um, oddly enough, hear me out. Years ago, so when I first started being an entrepreneur, I didn't start at graphic design. I started out doing makeup at first, and I saw your story when you said you started out doing lashes. So I
Yeah.
started out doing makeup. It was makeup, what was it? Marie's Makeovers, I think is what I called it. And so that was my business, right? And then I had a women's ministry, which birthed me being a designer because I didn't have the money to pay for people to do my designs all the time. So I went on Canva and figured it out, right? During that women's ministry stage, the Lord showed me a vision. He showed me on a stage. It was like a big church full of people. Now, I wasn't a preacher. I wasn't preaching nothing like that, but I was doing something impactful. And it was just me on the stage looking at all those people that was looking at me like they came to see me. It was at that moment when I knew that God had put something inside of me. And so everything and every urge and every, like, oh, I feel like I have to do this, I just stepped out and did it because I felt like God showed me that for a reason. We know that sometimes God will show us the end and not show us the steps to get there because he wants us to trust him in the between. Is I feel like God showed me my promised land. And I don't want to rob myself of my promised land because I'm too scared to step out into, what I can do. And so ever since then, for the most part, of course, I had my times where I'm like, ooh, I don't know about that, y'all. Ooh, God, I don't know about this. There, of course, I have those moments. For the most part, if I have an urge, if I feel it, if I see it, because I'm truly a visionary. That is the gift God gave me. I can see before it happens. I hear things, I see things. Literally, when I tell people this, I would start laughing at me. I don't know if y'all remember that show back in the day called That's So Raven, when Raven would zone out and she would
Yes.
just see stuff. That's literally how I am. Somebody gonna be talking to me, and I'm literally somewhere with God. I'm somewhere, I'm far away. And that's how the Lord deals with me. When God shows me something or He gives me an idea, I move. My remedy to that is move on it before I get too scared to second guess.
Or you forget.
So if He showed
Yeah.
me Monday, by Friday, I've already made steps to get it done. Because if I think about it too long, I'm an overthinker as well. Because with that visionary side of things, the other side is you overthinking it. I'm gonna overthink my way out of a blessing. And so those things just innately inside of me birth that I can do this. And if I can't, at least I tried it. That's my mentality. I'm gonna try it. And if it don't work out, it just don't work out. And that's cool. We're gonna move on to the next thing.
Absolutely. I'm the same way. And then also, I guess I hate to say it's my fear, but my fear is if I don't do it and I'm disobedient and someone else picks it up, and then God is like,
Girl.
"Come on," and then you're mad. And so because I don't want that to happen to me, I
Mm-hmm.
just I start doing it like you, and I can be
Yeah.
very analytical. So it's like
Yeah.
just do it, figure it out as we go.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
yeah,
For sure.
for sure. So why do you feel like it's been so important for women to take up space intentionally, particularly in the digital media and tech space, just because there's such a disparity
Wow.
with the gap, technology gap as us as a people and a culture. But why is it we feel like it's even more important for women to step in, Black women to step in with intention
Yeah.
and take up space in the digital world and tech world?
Wow, I think that's a wonderful question. So I am such a I don't ever call myself a girl just because the definitions that we be given for that, I don't be knowing all the time. Now I am a girl to where I am rooting for all women. I am want all women to succeed. I'm not gonna tear my sister down. I'm not gonna do those things. But I'm also a proponent in I am also gonna be rooting for the best person I feel like is well the best Black person. Let's be for real. I'm like Issa Rae. I'm rooting for everybody Black. Okay, everybody Black. I want everybody Black to succeed. Okay, and so I am a person where I'm gonna root for the person who I think should be the best. If that happens to be a woman, great. If it's not, if it's a Black man, I mean, I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do. But I feel like women, especially in this industry, are so necessary because we have a certain je ne sais quoi. We have a certain a way of creativity, a way of executing things that is different than the man's perspective. It's not lesser. It's not something that's greater. It's just different. And I feel like oftentimes when we assign, so in this creative world, tech world, we know that it's very male dominated. It's extremely male dominated, right? I feel like you lose the well-roundedness of what it could be when you mute the voice of one particular group. You see, I feel like women, we bring a certain level of care and attention to detail that some men just don't do. And so for me, I love seeing other Black female creators doing amazing things. And this is why I say I'm half and half a girl, half and half not, because this is the half that I am. I love seeing strong Black women, period. I don't care what industry you're in. I love seeing women doing their thing. Some of the women that we both know, Camille, is Dr. Matisa. Like, I love seeing her just be activated. I love seeing her be activated because um, it kind of tears down the stereotype that women can only be just one thing. We can only be a mother. If we're a mother, we can't be a boss in the creative world, a boss in the workplace. And it's like, no,
All
we're
the things, all
multifaceted.
the things.
We can do
Yeah,
it all. We can do
yeah.
it all. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to just be one thing. And so Black women are so necessary. And I wish that there were more of us who can take a stand and say, no, we're here. Not only are we the most educated group in the world, be clear, the Black woman is the most educated group in the world, but we have the skill set to back it up. We don't just have these degrees behind our names, we have the skill set to back it up too. So I think that women in this space is so necessary. And I'm honestly, Camille, and I'm sure you can agree, I'm honestly proud to be one. I'm glad that I'm one.
Absolutely. I'm proud of you, girl.
Thank you, girl.
So just going on, and I love that. So even with us showing up and being in these spaces, what do you think like it will look like in the next 5 to 10 years with technology versus
Wow.
how it was 10, 20 years ago? Like, what have you noticed
Mhm.
in the timeline of us in these spaces, and just how we're
Yeah.
showing up? I feel like now that we have social media and the internet and so much information, we're able to thrust ourselves more into spaces and be more present and more visible. I remember when I was
Yeah.
younger, I guess around like the 2000s, that whole My Black is
Hmm.
Beautiful campaign, came out. And I remember Queen Latifah launched her Queen collection with the makeup. And my grandmother had fashion fair. That was like the first Black OG makeup ball.
Right, right.
But outside of BET, you really didn't see us other than Claire Huxtable and a couple shows.
Hmm.
So, what do you feel like? with technology, with AI, with creativity, with the internet, the future of us in spaces, and then us being able to control our narrative in today's society.
So I think that question is twofold. So I'll deal with one part first, and I'll come back to the second. So first things first is that technology has changed so much. Y'all, I feel like a dinosaur almost. Okay. I am 32, right? I'm not that old. You're like, girl, you young. I get it. I'm 32. But I think about I did not have my first smartphone until I was a freshman in college. Okay. Like iPhones were not a thing like that. Instagram wasn't a thing like that. Facebook wasn't it was there, but it wasn't using now. YouTube was just kind of getting popping, but it wasn't what it is now. StreamYard, I don't even know if StreamYard was available, right? I don't remember. But things have changed so much.
Yeah.
Say it again, Mel.
Days of Periscope.
Periscope, yes, Periscope. Remember Uvu? That was like Skype and all the other stuff. It's technology has changed so much in such a short amount of time, and we have come leaps and bounds. That I don't necessarily feel like. Hear me out. Because I know that the going narrative or theme of people think, oh, graphic designers, I got to be scared. All these people, you got to be scared because AI gonna take over. AI gonna take over. AI can mimic everything but the human experience. At the end of the day, it's still AI, right? So for me, I use AI in some of my designs to change my outfit. I might change my hair. I might, do something like that. But at the end of the day, if I depended solely on AI to do that, then I would probably have 15 fingers. My left eye will be cocked. My lip will be drooping. It's still some human elements that makes AI do what it needs to do. So I feel like that although AI will change the industry, that we will kind of rely more heavily on it, it still does not take away or is not going to completely eliminate the need for a human to operate the system. And so that's kind of on one hand of it. On the other hand, and how it's helped us to kind of tell our story in this industry is that we don't have to depend on the gatekeepers of these industries to let us in anymore. We can let ourselves in. So my podcast, The Creatives Table, is built on the idea that we don't have to beg for anybody's seat at their table. You build your own. You build your own table where everybody is welcome who you want them to be. And so I feel like in terms of AI and technology and how far it's come, we don't have to depend. There was a time where podcasts were not accessible to the average person, right? You had to be a Nene Leakes or Beyonce or something like that to get spaces in this industry to get your message out. Whereas now, all you need is a cell phone and access to StreamYard to do it. You can build your own space and build your own communities. You don't have to wait on networks and all these other things to let you in. You can do it yourself. And so I think, AI is kind of twofold. Of course, it has a negative side of things where, when you become too reliant on it, what happens if the system crashes and you don't know what to do? But then also it helps you because it's like it makes things easier to do so that you can spend time doing the things. So girl, I can go on for days about this technology and AI stuff, but I think for the most part, I love it because it allows me and you, Camille, to get our message out to the world and not have to worry about, I got to go to this dinner, to go to meet these people. Girl, I just need to turn my camera on and out.
And so with that being said, what do you feel like is your hope, or what do you see for other young Black women designed to enter the space and for the next generation of innovators?
Wow, what is my hope? My hope is that we begin to be more confident in our own voices, in our own stories, to have the confidence to not depend on the validation of others to tell our stories, to tell it authentically to who we are and put it out in the world and say, whoever like it, like it. If you don't, oh well. And a figure who has done that, and I'm not a big Beyonce fan. Oh, girl, I know. I'm not a big Beyonce fan, but I'm also not a hater either. And one thing I love about her, and I saw like a documentary or a piece of clip of that she was talking, and she said that she got to a point where she just didn't care anymore. She didn't care about putting out music that whatever. She said, "Listen, I'm gonna make stuff that feels good to me. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. Either way, it ain't gonna make me lose sleep." I want us as Black women, as Black creatives, to get more to that place where we begin to put out our art and not care about the response. We put it out because it feels good and natural to us, and who likes it. Who doesn't, that's cool too.
Yeah, I recently got to that point just because there
Yeah,
was a time period throughout the pandemic where I was so focused on the
mm,
algorithm and trying to keep up with the
yeah,
numbers, and I became so discouraged. So I was like, "Why am I here? Why am I doing this? I don't want to do this anymore." And I had a podcast
yeah.
episode with a friend of mine, and she's a professional therapist, licensed and everything. And we had an episode about creating your own mental health emergency plan because just like for tornado or active shooter or fire, you have an emergency plan. But what if you or a loved one has an emergency within yourself? How do you
Mhm.
navigate that space? And so we had the
Yeah,
conversation and very low views, even the replay. And I was just like, well, maybe I should take it down, because I was just so focused on the algorithm and the numbers. And so, like a couple of days later, she reached out to me and she was like, I'm so glad we did that episode. I was like, really? And she was like, yeah. I was like, well, I was thinking about deleting it. And she was like, no, no. She said, one of the people that was watching had actually made plans to take life into their own hands that evening, but they
wow.
and decided to go get help. And that's when the light bulb went off and made me realize this thing was bigger than me. And so you don't know, you showing up and your obedience could literally be saving someone's life and you don't even know it. And how many people before us probably have left here because someone had what they needed and they didn't do it and they made other choices with their lives.
They did do it. You know, Camille, it's so funny that you say that. So my therapist is actually the person, my personal therapist is the one who is going to be doing my live show, The Creators Couch, with me. And we
Wow.
had that exact same question. And I was telling her, I was like, um, and I hope I can be transparent here.
Yes.
But I was telling her, I was like, I have a lot of designers who are reaching out to me and like, oh, Jerry, you're doing so good. I love your work and all that. And you this, you that. And I get it. And I was just like, it's making me uncomfortable. And she was like, why is it making you uncomfortable? I said, because I'm not where I want to be at. I'm not getting tens of thousands of views on my stuff, and putting in a lot of effort, and it's doing well. And it's doing well, but it's not doing as good as what. And she was like, okay. What is the number? What's the number that'll get you to the point where you feel like it does well? And I was like, I don't know. And she was like, exactly. She said it. We have got to stop. And what your therapist friend was telling you, we have got to stop looking at these numbers and these likes and comments and shares and letting it get into a psyche. Because if 100 people watched your live, if 100 people came to a venue to support you, a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? It's like if 30 people came up to you at one time and was all trying to talk to you, you would be overwhelmed. And I feel like we've got to realize that, man, like it doesn't matter the number. God placed it on my heart to say a thing, to tell a story, to do whatever. If only one person, in your case, Camille, if only one person was blessed, if only one person made another decision, didn't change your life, if only one person decided, I'm going to give my life to God, if only one person said, I'm going to put the bottle down, what they're going to do, then that's enough. And of course, as creators, we don't always get to see that, right? People don't always come to us and say that. Some people will deal with it silently, but we have to like rely and say, okay, I'm doing this for a reason. And I don't care how many people look at it, the right people looked at it. That's all that matters. I'm gonna move on to the next thing.
So true, very true. And in that, like, what do you do? So for myself, Jerrica, I have made it an intention, a note that I have
Yeah.
every night on my iPhone. The do not disturb automatically kicks in at 8:30. Of course, I have it set up to where emergency calls can come through or whatever. But for me, because I'm on all day, and then in the evening, that's my time to create, to do scheduling, my devotion time, and to wind down. So my D&D kicks in at 8:30, and I've done that for the last, I want to say, 2 to 3 years, just because I needed to set some
Mm-hmm.
personal boundaries. And so those little things, those little niche things that I do, how do you protect your peace while staying visible and relevant in the digital space?
Oh gosh, this is a wonderful question. Um, I'm good for letting that phone ring. I'm really good at that. I'm really, really good at that. I'm really good at watching my phone ring. I think, especially as creatives, our mind is our tool. Our mind is our tool, and having on the helmet of salvation sometimes means I'm not going to answer that call if I know such and such is going to irritate me. Or I'm not going to do this past particular time. I'm going to put my do not disturb at 8:30 because I know that I have things that I need to do that I need to be not disturbed for. There are, like, I feel like all of these things are so important to protecting our peace because our peace is too expensive and these clients are not paying enough to disrupt my peace. You're not paying me to disrupt my peace. You just not. I'm sorry. I don't care. I don't care how much the artwork costs. It ain't that my piece is not included, and you're not gonna worry me. Okay. And I feel like for me, I had to grow to that space because when I first started in design, I've been doing it for 10 years. And for about 7 of those 10 years, I felt like I always had to respond. When they called, I had to answer. It didn't matter the time. I needed to get it, whatever they needed, I gotta do it. I gotta do it because that's good customer service. That's not good customer service. It's not customer service, right? Because we think about Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A has hours of operation. Their boundary is if they close at 9 o'clock, if you come there at 9:30, you're not getting no French fry. You're not getting no Polynesian sauce and no chicken sandwich at 9:30 because it's closed. The boundary they have. Okay. And as a creative, because we are people and not corporations, people will try to argue you down and be like, but I need. Okay, well, take that up with the Holy Ghost or go on camping and try to do it yourself. I'm closed. Or you can come back tomorrow. Now, I'm good at ignoring you. So I'm not going to respond to you until the hours are open again. Right? That's just my thing. But this is what I've grown to. And I feel like it's important because, like I said in the beginning, our mind is our weapon. And if you aggravated me or irritated me or frustrated me so much, now I'm not going to be able to produce in the way that I should or would in a normal circumstance because my mind is frazzled. I gotta protect this. And whatever that means by any means necessary, I gotta protect my tool.
Yeah. I think those that are not creative, that's something they don't understand. They think, oh, we just throw a flyer
Yeah.
together, throw something together. That's not how it works. It's a process because we're
No.
taking something in our mind and we're manifesting it in the physical through digital art or whatever it is, or if we're writing something
Mhm.
for someone. And that does take time. And if you're
Yeah.
in a deficit, I can't product or I can't give you product at all. And I need moments and time to recharge my mind and myself just so I can get the
Yeah.
inspiration. There's sometimes I worked on things and it wasn't translating the way I wanted it to. And I was like, you know what? I step back, do something else. I go wash clothes or go outside or whatever. And I could be driving my car and something will go do XYZ. And when I get back on my
Yep.
MacBook, it's like it just comes out. And sometimes you do have to step away
Mm-hmm.
and do natural, just regular things because you can get so locked
Yeah.
in our mind, like perfection, do it right. It has to be perfect, perfectionism, which is a
Yeah.
whole nother conversation. But sometimes it's just stepping back from the keys and just saying, let me go find something to do or watch something on Netflix. And
Right.
I have personally made it a point on weekends. I carve out times. If there's a show I've missed some, like I like Abbott Elementary. I recently got into
Mm-hmm.
Beyond the Gates, the new black soap opera on CBS. So
Mama
that time
love
on the
that
week
show.
is good, okay? And that's my time on the weekend that I just kind of check out and just not think about stuff and just laugh or get caught up
Yes.
in someone else's storyline, and then I'll come back to it later. I'm refreshed. My mind is. I want to take a nap. Nothing wrong with a good nap. And so there's these little things
Right.
I do. So, girl, I get it.
Yeah.
So, so
I I have been struggling. I'll be honest, Camille, I have been struggling with that here recently. So, um, my mom had surgery in March, and I originally was supposed to be here for 4 days. I've been here since March. Y'all know it's June, right? I've been here since March. I packed 4 days worth of clothes. Everybody get uno, dos, tres. See, it was siete, I think. 4 days worth of clothes. Okay, I've been here 3 months. I've been here 3 months. I've been here 3 months. Okay, I was 4 days. Anyway, so being here, being a caregiver, now kind of tapering off, which is good. But being a caregiver, I'm also in a PhD program. I am trying to do this podcast. I still have a business, and I'm trying to just be a human being. That was a lot. Having to adjust that quickly was a lot, right? And I found myself not sleeping. Even now, my sleep schedule is so off. I will be up all night long. I will be up until like literally the sun is coming up. My mom is coming out of the day, and I'm just laying down and go to sleep. And I can't sleep all night. I mean, I can't sleep all day because I got clients to attend to. So I get about an hour or two of sleep, and I get back up and do it all over again. Here recently, my body is like, girl, no. I mean, my body was shutting down on me. And what it made me realize is that as creatives, we have got to, and I'm coming, piggybacking off your point, as creatives, we have got to prioritize our time of rest, our time to shut our mind off and not think. Because I am a visionary, I work in my sleep. I'm designing, y'all. I am designing in my sleep. It's the weirdest thing. I'm doing all this because I'm not shutting my mind off.
Yeah.
That's not healthy. It's not healthy. Yes. And so oh God, I'm just now trying to get more of a rhythm, and this hair is everywhere now. Wow, I know y'all see me picking at my face. I'm trying to get a rhythm back in my life, balance and rest and prioritizing all of that, because back to my point earlier, my mind is my weapon, and if my mind is tired, my design's gonna be tired. And so, we have, as creators, we have to do that. It's imperative that we do that.
Yeah, and I understand because my mind, it will run late because
Yeah.
creating, and so it takes a minute for me to wind down. So last week, my sauna blanket came in the mail through Amazon.
Okay, girl.
Listen, I climb in that thing like a burrito, and I have my remote, and that's I'm in it like a little burrito, and I love it because it helps me just bring it all the way down, and it's a great way to detox and just kind of relax. Maybe a hot cup of tea or water, whatever. And so I'm just finding other ways to help turn my mind off so I can go to bed, because I found myself up and you probably understand. Like, you're like, okay, I'm gonna go to bed, get an idea, and then you blink and it's
get up. Yeah.
It's like when you get the idea, you just start working because you don't want to lose it. And I'm like, oh,
right.
And so I absolutely understand it. We're gonna turn the corner just a little bit because we're beginning to wrap up this conversation. Sure. And girl, I love having you here, and I definitely want to bring you back because I want to keep digging into this conversation. You're a great person to talk to. So, what would you say if the little girl in you could hear your voice today? What would she need to know the most?
Girl, what? Wow. Camille, girl, if the little girl in me, if I could say anything to her, what do I think she needs to hear the most? She needs to hear that she is enough. She is enough. You don't have to do any extra. Just the way you are enough. And there's no amount of success. There's no amount of education. There's no amount of accolades and whatever could make you enough. You are enough just the way you are, little Jerrica. And wow, that's a Camille, girl. You in my therapy session. That's a good. That is a wonderful question. Yeah, I think that's what little Jerrica needed to hear. Yeah, that she was enough.
That's good. So, what do you feel like was a lesson you took the longest to learn has become the most valuable in your journey?
Wow, the lesson that took the longest for me to learn. The lesson that took the longest for me to learn is probably what I just said to little Jerrica. That was
Okay.
enough. Um, for a long time, I felt like I was only as good as my last accomplishment.
Mm,
And so it caused me to be in a race to do the next thing. Instead of realizing that I was amazing just as Jerrica. If I don't if I don't have the degrees and the education and the jobs and the any of the stuff, bare just me, I was enough. I feel like for me, it took me too long. I feel like I'm just now starting to. I haven't settled in that fully. I don't think. I'm being very transparent, but I feel like I'm just now starting to settle in that space where I don't feel the need to prove that I'm enough. I look in the mirror and think that about myself, and that's really all that matters. And I feel like it took. I'm 32. It took me way too long. I should have got that a long time ago. But hey, we are.
So, before we wrap things up, um, we would
Sure.
like to know, do you have any takeaways or nuggets for the listeners and viewers until you come back? Because you are coming back. And then where people
Yes,
can find
girl.
you on social media. And then also, girl, what do you have going on? What's coming up next? Any projects, books? Girl, what's the next thing?
Ooh. Okay, wonderful question. So what is one nugget or takeaway I want people to know? I want people to know that whatever the Lord has laid on your heart, whatever your dream is, whatever the idea is, chase it, go after it. If it doesn't matter, right? You look at the dream. I tell people all the time, as a visionary, my vision is always bigger than my pockets. Always. I've never had a vision where I'm like, oh, yeah, I can do that tomorrow. I always had a vision where I'm like, God, all right, I don't know. We'll figure this out as we go. But one thing that I love is that I just did it. Just do it. Don't care about the response. Don't care about what are people gonna think or what's the response. It don't matter. Just do it. Put it out in the world. Make it as authentic to you and what the vision is you see. Keep doing that. And I'm telling you, the right people are gonna flock to you because they're gonna be your people. We're too busy trying to gather all people instead of gathering our people and the ones that we are assigned to. And so that's the nugget I want to encourage everybody. If you're a creator, if you are an entrepreneur, if you just have an idea for something, just do it. Don't care about nothing. Do it. Where can you guys find me? So on Facebook, I am Jerrica Marie. You can see that on my handle here. On Instagram, I am Jerrica Marie as well. On YouTube, it is the Creatives Table. If you cannot find it, which you probably can't because YouTube is a hater and they put up some white lady. I don't know why they doing that, but that ain't me. Okay. Go to my Instagram, my bio, you'll find a link to my YouTube there. What is something that I'm doing next? I have a lot of stuff coming up. I got a lot coming up. I've been working so hard. Um, the first thing I have coming up is tomorrow, actually, on Facebook and YouTube at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am launching my podcast, Creatives Couch, under the Creatives Table, which is a conversation with a licensed therapist, my personal therapist. And we're going to be talking about different issues that creatives deal with, some of the stuff we talked about tonight, because I think that can be really beneficial. This is an exclusive. I have not shared this publicly yet, so Camille is an exclusive for you. Tomorrow's conversation is called A Creative's Last Straw, based on the movie Straw. It's talking about how as creatives, sometimes we all feel denied. We want to crash out. And so we're going to be talking about how steps we can take to not crash out, the mental health plans that we can put in place, like Camille was talking about. So I'm really excited about that. I also have written a little something. Be on the lookout for that. It should come in August. I wrote something. So I got a lot of cool stuff. Say it again.
I want the exclusive on that.
Okay, Brown. You can have exclusive on that. It's coming. It's coming. I'm not ready to talk about it just yet. But before August, I'm gonna come back before August, and I'll give you the exclusive on that. But I'm really, God is like Camille, and I know you can understand because you are creative and an entrepreneur and visionary yourself, but I have just recently coming through a season where I really was in the wilderness, y'all. Like in the wilderness. Okay. When I say wilderness, I lost my job. I lost a lot of friends. I lost a lot of money. Lot of money. Did I say that? A lot of money. Okay, a lot of it gone. I was in a season where I felt like I was losing, and it really played on my mental health. And God really humbled me to a place where I realized, like I said, I was enough, but He was enough for me to sustain. He was enough. All I needed was Him. And now He's really breathing on the things that I'm doing. And I am in awe of God. And I'm super excited. And the stuff got coming is gonna bless some people. And y'all, I'm about to start shaking. Like, I really feel God all over this stuff. And I'm so excited to share it with the world. So I would love to have you all on the journey with me.
Absolutely. I love it. And I cannot wait to have you back. Thank you for sharing a part of yourself with me and my audience. And I cannot wait to build this connection even more. And I hope everyone got something from this conversation, whether if you're listening now or you're catching up later. Be sure to connect with me online. You can catch me on the streaming platforms, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Pandora. I'm also on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. Be sure to connect with me at CamilleEssick.com. They're on Instagram at Camille.Essick. And I would love to hear from you. You can send me an email at thespeakerpodcast@gmail.com. And without further ado, y'all, we're going to take a little break next week, and then we'll be back the following week for another creative conversation. The one and only Deshaun Gales is pulling up. That's my brother, and I cannot wait.
Yes, I love him.
Yes, Deshaun is an awesome person. So with that being said, y'all, hold on, Jerrica. This is Camille Essick, host of the Speaker Podcast, the podcast where innovators critics connect. Y'all be safe. Have a great weekend. I'll see you soon. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Speaker Podcast. Be sure to follow Camille on Instagram at Camille.Essick, Facebook at the Speaker Podcast, or www.CamilleEssick.com.